Yeah. Pop in, burning like this, ain't checking my wrist. Third is my shift. Rolling all night like flex. We look at the clips, these credits.
What's going on, folks, man? It's your man, Old Head Reacts, back here with another reaction. We got 1090 Jake talking about the whole situation with Boosie, man. This boy got more get out of jail free cards than anybody. I don't know if he's going to be able to get himself out of this situation, though, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Talk to me or talk back. Let's get into the content.
Boosie is having one of the worst starts to summer 2026, as he's now been arrested for an aggravated assault after hitting a club security guard with a hookah, breaking the glass over the guy's head. And apparently this whole thing went down while he's on federal probation.
Yeah, Boosie, what's up with you, man? You on the federal probation and you gonna bust a security guard in the head with a hookah? Oh, yo, that's crazy, yo. You need to relax, man. You too damn old to be acting like this. You on them what they call them, YOs? Young old nigga? Yeah, you want them YONs, man. You need to relax, man.
Federal supervision from that federal gun case he caught.
Exactly.
And to be honest, it just seems since the whole thing happened with Vlad TV and the interviews being cut off, everything's just been downhill.
No,
Quick pause,
I'm not gonna put that on nothing.
If you've ever needed access to your money before payday, there's a banking app called Current that lets you get up to $750 to stay more on top of their finances. Now, all over Instagram, from Say Cheese to No Jumper, Boosie now faces aggravated assault charge after allegedly hitting a security guard in the head with a glass hookah. Now, for Memorial Weekend, Boosie was booked to host at Club Dome. Now, Dome is, I believe, downtown Houston, and the club looks pretty upscale, if I'm being honest.
Wow,
it doesn't really look like the type of club that's going to play Set It Off or really any other of Boosie's hits, because that's more like street music. He's a street rapper. And the fact that he was not only hosting, but he cracked a security guard's head here, I'm not even surprised that he's in jail. But according to the paperwork, he's been hit with a felony charge of aggravated assault. On Saturday, May 24th, 2026, the complainant, Mr. Edward Iglehart, employed as a security guard at the nightclub, stated he was assisting with clearing patrons from the establishment due to closing. Mr. Iglehart stated that while escorting patrons out of the nightclub, an unknown female approached him and requested to use the restroom. He advised the female that the restroom facilities were closed because the establishment was no longer open.
That's right.
Now, if you've been a nightclub connoisseur like myself, you know once the lights get turned on, everybody gotta go.
It's over.
They're not really sparing anyone. They're trying to get everybody out. They don't want people lingering in the bathrooms. They don't want people rushing to go do this and that. If you had to pee, you should have just handled that while the club was open.
Now, as a bouncer, I'm gonna speak to it like this. You gotta get everybody out the club at a certain time, because if you have anybody in the club after a certain time, the club could get fined for that. Now, sometimes we let people back in to use the bathroom or whatever. Like, if we real cool with the person, we let them use the bathroom quick and get up out of there. But we're really not supposed to do that. Anything after 2 o'clock in certain places or whatever it is in Austin or Houston, where he's at. I know in San Antonio it's 2 some places, and other places, Austin, I think they still do 2 o'clock also some places. But after a certain time, after you don't have them, yeah, you can get a fine. If you don't get them out a certain time, you get a fine. A big fine. So everybody go to clubs and get mad when you get kicked out, and they tell you y'all gotta go. It's because we on a time limit and we gotta get you out of there, man. Gotta get you out of there.
Open, but once it's closing time, whoever was friendly with you 3 minutes prior, they're not friendly with you now. They want to go home. They're tired of your shit. The smile was a facade. They want you to leave. According to the security guard, the female became upset and intentionally struck him in the face with her elbow. The security guard stated he then began escorting the female out of the establishment. While escorting her towards the exit, the female dropped her phone and keys on the floor. Security stated that as he...
First of all, security need to get replaced. How did you get elbowed in the face by the girl? How did you let the girl elbow you in the face? You should have already been paying attention to that and watching her before that. Security
bent down to retrieve the female's belongings. He suddenly felt an object strike the top of his head, causing immediate pain and injury. He said that when he turned around, he observed blood running down his face and observed the defendant, Boosie, holding a broken glass hookah base in his hand. He believes the defendant struck him with the broken hookah base, causing the injury to his head. As a result of the assault, he was transported to St. Joseph's Hospital for medical treatment, where he received 8 staples to his head. He said he was experiencing pain from the injury and wished to pursue criminal charges against the defendant. Now, this isn't a light case. He's accusing Boosie of cracking him in the head with a glass hookah. It split him. An immediate laceration, and he had to get 8 staples.
8 staples is crazy.
Shut that wound.
He didn't get the stitches. He got staples.
This is actually bad.
This is terrible.
This isn't a little thing. This isn't like you just swung on somebody. No, dude's head got cracked open. Blood was probably all over the place, which there's going to be pictures and evidence of this. And he had to get 8 staple stitches. I remember I had to get 2 stitches in my leg, and I think it came out to like almost $3,000, $2,000, some crazy shit, right? The price was crazy. So this guy is going to get hit with that bill on top of what happened, and he's going to be coming straight after Boosie. Victor
As he
Childs,
should.
another security guard at the nightclub, stated he witnessed the incident involving the complainant and the defendant. Mr. Childs stated that he was assisting the complainant, the security guard, with escorting the unknown female out of the establishment. He said after the female dropped her belongings and the other security guard bent down to retrieve, he suddenly heard the sound of glass shattering. He stated that immediately after hearing the glass break, he observed blood, later determined to be the complainant's blood, disperse onto the floor and surrounding area along with fragments of the hookah. Mr. Childs stated that when he turned towards the disturbance, he observed the defendant, Boosie, holding a broken glass hookah base in his hand while yelling at the complainant. The complainant and witness both identified the defendant by his stage name, Boosie Badass, by pointing at his picture on the big screen inside the club. Both the complainant and witness also stated that he was the host for the club. Now
how dumb can you be, yo? You the host of this thing. You the reason why people are out there. They done pay for you to come. You on flyers. You all over the place, and then you decide to take a hookah and hit the bouncer over the head with it because the girl you was with elbowed him in the face. So you wanted to be tender, Mr. Captain, save him, and come and come on. I got you, sweetie, and hit him in the head with the daggone hookah. Now that's just all wrong, and I also blame security too because you should be more aware of what's going on when you're working security. You should never put yourself in a position to where you get elbowed in the face by a girl. Don't know how that happened, and then that dude comes from behind you and hits you in the head with a hookah. You should have already had yourself positioned to where you could see everything and not have that happen. And you was way too close to that girl for her to elbow you. That was insane. Like not the victim blame here, but yeah, you could have been a little more aware. But Boosie, way out of pocket. Old girl should have never put her hands on him. Still, regardless. But Boosie, you are, and it just go to jail, bro. Cause you been itching to go back to jail for a little while now. Just take your ass back to jail, man, because you getting on my damn nerves.
I'm not a lawyer, but here's my thing. Breaking down what we've read so far. You hear a sound, you turn, you see Boosie yelling with a broken hookah in his hand, and dude's shit split wide open, there's hookah all over the floor, right? You're gonna assume Boosie did it. But the guy that got hit in the head didn't see Boosie do it, and the so-called witness also clarified he didn't see Boosie do it. They were focused on the female. He heard a disturbance and turned and saw Boosie with the hookah. Now, who's to say that Boosie doesn't have Spider-Man-like reflexes and he just and grabbed the hookah base off the floor after someone else cracked him with it? Who's to say Boosie's homeboy didn't crack dude in the head and Boosie took the base to stop his homeboy from repeatedly cracking him in the head? We don't know. I'm just saying unbiasedly. At this point, these two guys, neither one of them witnessed Boosie actually strike him. They just saw the aftermath. Now, the victim was a marked security guard wearing a black collar shirt that read security. The police observed the laceration located on the top of his head and blood all over his head. We were later informed by club promoters and club owners that the female involved in this incident is Boosie's niece, They successfully ID'd the defendant by typing his stage name into Google and providing his full name and date of birth. The police were then able to successfully identify Boosie. Now, there's countless videos on the internet of Boosie not playing about females. I mean, there was even one video where Boosie was telling the guy, hey, talk to me like that. And you can see Boosie's homeboy in the background getting ready to fire off. So Boosie doesn't play about the women. He defends the women.
I'm a man. You're not gonna talk to me like I will beat the fuck out of you. It's okay. You talk, I will beat your ass. You ain't gonna talk to her like that. I will beat your ass. You talk to me like that. It's okay. You're not gonna disrespect no woman like that, bro. Come on, she's telling you. Everybody's saying they're sorry. Let her go, bro. She's telling you she's sorry. She's telling you everybody's saying they're sorry, and you standing with everybody is.
But how he handled this was not it. I will say this, if that was Boosie's niece, she should have had priority to use the bathroom. Because when the club lights turn on, if you're a regular person, yeah, you're gonna get escorted out. But if you're somebody with a lot of jewelry, this and that, or if you're somebody that the club knows or hired, like Boosie, they're not gonna force you out. They're gonna let everyone else go out, so you're not moving with the stampede. In which you're just bumping shoulders with some people, somebody could try to touch your chain, whatever. Normally they'll let the crowd go and then they'll escort you to your vehicle. You know what I mean? That's what happens when
he is 100% correct about that. If that is in fact Boosie's niece, and security probably knew that that was Boosie's niece, he should have let her come back inside to use the bathroom. He should have 100% let her come back inside to use the bathroom. Some of these bouncers, man, some of you security guards out here in Texas, man, y'all really got the game twisted, bro. Some of y'all act a little too damn much for me. Some of y'all think y'all cops and everything. Some of y'all ain't never been in a real thing at all in the club. But that's another rant for another time. But yeah, they should have had let her back in. If she was part of Boosie's entourage and that was his niece, in fact, they should have let her back in. They should have known that she was already Boosie's niece, and they should have let her back in. It should have been no problems with that.
They've done this for me before. They're gonna bring you to your car, make sure you leave good. The service is gonna be good. Not necessarily because they're worried about something happening to you, but because they want to make sure nothing happens to you, so you continue to come back and spend money. They want to show hospitality.
Yep.
I'll say this: if his niece felt entitled and decided that, oh, I'm not getting my way, I'm gonna elbow security.
Yeah, she threw a fit.
She fucked it up for herself.
Crazy.
So she starts getting kicked out. Boosie sees his niece getting kicked out. He ain't going for it. Grabs the hookah. Bam! Fires him up with it, right? Complete crash out. Complete fuck up on his part. Should not have done that. Let your niece crash if she's gonna crash, but you cannot be mad at the response to what she did. If she caused the situation by becoming erratic and striking security with an elbow, at that point, you know, people are gonna be like, oh, I'm riding with her, right or wrong. Okay, gangster, ride with her, right or wrong. Now you locked up, she's not, all because she had a piss. Realistically, this is what happens when you ride out for people that do not value you and put you in a dangerous position, knowing you'll crash out.
Exactly.
And then now you're fucked. According to the bond paperwork, for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, Boosie's bond has been set to $85,000, and I believe, looking at a news report, he's already been released. Which isn't that big of a surprise that he would get out, but what the bigger surprise is will the feds step in and put him back in federal custody? Now, this is Boosie's Fed case from when he got caught with a gun at the music video in California when the dumbass dude was on live and it showed Boosie with a gun in his waistband, right? This was filed January 9th, 2026, and Boosie, Torrance Hatch, pled guilty to 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now, for this, he was sentenced to federal prison for 10 days. He was given time served for the time he'd been locked up already. But part of his release would be federal supervised release
for 3 years.
This is basically probation.
What's the mandatory conditions? The defendant must not commit another federal, state, or local crime. Boom. He just messed up right there. Right there. The first rule. The defendant must not commit another federal, state, or local crime. He's cooked. They gonna send him back. They gonna send him back down the road, man. He going to jail. This time he going to jail. He got to sit there for a second because the feds ain't playing with him. They didn't give that man too many chances, bro. They've been giving him too many chances ever since he beat that murder case. You would think a person beat a murder case and did all that, went through all of that whole ordeal, and will come home and sit his ass down, make his money off the internet, talk his little mess, do his thing, and sit his ass down. That boy ain't did nothing but get in more trouble ever since he came home from that murder case, man. Ever since, and allegedly got Marlo sent down the road. Ever since then, man, he ain't been nothing. You know what I'm saying? He just been getting into more and more trouble. There's probably a lot of stuff on his mind. What else I got there? The defendant must not unlawfully possess a controlled substance. The defendant must not illegally possess a controlled substance. The defendant must refrain from any unlawful use of a controlled substance. All right, so he ain't doing all of that. Drug testing, determine. He ain't doing none of that. Features, drugs. It's saying drugs right there. Ain't saying nothing about liquor. Proper with DNA. The defendant must not registration. Defendant must okay. All right, so it ain't saying drug. It ain't saying drinking or anything like that. But he definitely cooked off of the first rule he broke right there. Defendant must not commit another federal, state, or local crime. Like he finished me.
For 3 years, this is what the feds do for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. When you catch a Fed case, you get your time, and then you get your federal probation, basically, right? And the mandatory conditions: the Boosie must not commit another federal, state, or local crime. The Boosie must not unlawfully possess a controlled substance. The Boosie really must not do any goddamn.
Well, I'm gonna cut that off right there because we already read through those little list of things. If you want to watch the rest of the video, man, you tune into 1090 Jake, and you go over to his page and you look up the video he has on Boosie Badass. My thing on this, like I said, man, he came out of jail a long time ago, a few years back, after beating the murder charge, and he was in there in Angola. I think it was Angola. They had him locked up in there for a while, man. For a few years, he fought that case, and it wasn't looking good for him. And then God gave him grace, and he got out of that situation. And he's back on the streets with his family, feeding them, providing for him, and that's when he got the Boosie Estates over there in Georgia. I believe he had bought all that land, and he was doing his thing, but then he just started getting in trouble. He got some shit with Mo3. I think it was after Mo3 passed away. He got some stuff out there. Then he did some more stuff. He got into that car accident that we didn't hear nothing else about, that they said he caused it and was wilding out that day. The recent thing he's got in trouble with, like, he's been getting into trouble ever since he came home. That little one just would not sit down, bro. Like, yo, go sit your little ass down somewhere, man. You keep acting up, man. You got people to take care of. Cussed out his daughter online, did her all dirty, told her baby mother some stuff like, yeah, I mean, must be mad because your people going. Like, yo, go sit down somewhere, bro. You keep poking the bear, eventually the bear's gonna bite you. You gotta relax, man. You're doing too much, yo. You're doing way too much, man. But that's my take on it, man. Y'all get in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think about this whole Boosie Badass situation. If you made this far in the video, like, share, comment, subscribe. Talk to me and talk back, man. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Yeah. Pop in, burning like this, ain't checking my wrist. But it's my shift. Rolling all night like flex, we look at the clips, these credits.